Well, good afternoon to you. It is 2:30 Wednesday afternoon. I am Tom Brannon. Thank you for joining us today. As every day for the rest of the week here at 2:30 and also at night, 6:30 at night, we're going to give you an update on this developing winter storm that could be a major winter storm for a good part of Arkansas. Again, hope you're having a great day. Let's get you caught up to date on what's going on right now, though. We have a front moving through, some rain showers, beautiful shot outside showing clouds and rain. That's a beautiful shot because we haven't had much in the way of any rain or really for a while. So this helps a little. We've got more on the way. I just want to spend a moment talking about the currents, and then we'll get to the other stuff that is on the slate for the end of the week. 1 hour radar loop shows that most of the light precipitation is now beginning to leave us and head over into Mississippi and Tennessee. And speaking of Mississippi and Tennessee, they, like us, as well as parts of Louisiana, Texas, really the southeast, expecting a major winter storm to impact them in some way, shape, or form. Now, here we go. There is that opportunity. Let me just say, weather impact alerts means that we've got the potential. It's there. And you need to prepare, if you already have it, for significant precipitation, wintry precipitation at that. Major winter storm begins to come together and develop. I think that the main two things I want to pass along with this are it's going to get extremely cold, and we'll have enough cold air in there interacting with what falls from the sky, which looks like it's going to be mixed bag precipitation. But what has changed and where our confidence level lies right now is what type and where, as well as how much. We'll try to answer the how much part of this tomorrow. Holding back on accounts and accumulation right now, that's the biggest question. Well, one of two. Tom, when is it going to start and how much are we going to get? I know the kids want to be able to go outside and play in the snow. Adults and parents and weather guys and ladies that have to come in and cover it, we would rather it stay away from us, right? But the point that you need to know is this is a developing storm system. It will be a major winter storm when it comes together. And I know that, look, we're not dumb. You see all kinds of stuff on social media. Oh, well, this map said this many inches and this map said this many inches. Folks, it's just simply too early to tell. That's the way I look at it. It's too soon. But tomorrow we'll have a better idea and we'll begin to unveil. And it won't be one of those situations where we're just going to stick with this. We'll probably change it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as well. And by the way, the storm system is going to impact Arkansas beginning Friday evening, lasting through Sunday. Both of our long-range models are indicating a bit of a different beginning and end. So we'll work out those kinks as we go along. But there you go, our top three. Coldest air of the season arrives on the departure of this, or what falls is not going to go anywhere anytime soon. Winter weather alerts. I mentioned this yesterday that we'd probably see the entire state under some type of winter storm watch. In fact, that is the case. Blue indicating a winter storm watch. This is going to take us through Saturday night, early Sunday morning. I was a little surprised. National Weather Service kicking something out 3-4 days ahead of time, mainly 4 days ahead of time. We should know something tomorrow as to what type of, and I think the warnings will come down first for northwest and western Arkansas, winter storm warning of what precipitation type and how much is to be expected. We have a general idea looking at our models. All of our forecast models are kicking back significant accumulations for some. Freezing rain mainly for southern Arkansas, a mix of sleet and freezing rain for those southern couple of rows of counties, sleet and snow for central and north Arkansas. At least that's the way it looked yesterday. Things have shifted a bit, and we'll get to that here in just a few moments. We have a couple of model runs every day that we look at, 12Z and 0Z model runs. 12Z came out not long ago, and it is updated, and I'll show you what it says. 0Z comes in after the 10 o'clock news, so it's that data that Tracy uses in the morning to try and give you an idea of how you need to plan and prepare. First of all, I've heard all over the place, folks have already pretty much been to the grocery stores, probably going to the package stores as well, stocking up for what's going to be a long weekend. And I think that there is some good in this happening this weekend, and that it is the weekend. It begins Friday night, it ends Sunday. Will we have school Monday and Tuesday? That'll be the big question. And again, it goes back to what's going to fall. So let's talk about confidence, storm confidence, high-level confidence. And you can take this full if you want to, Chris. Cold air is going to be there. We expect below freezing temperatures for a number of days. Beginning Friday, And all the way through Tuesday, we may not reach freezing. And when precipitation starts on Friday, that's when the temperature begins to drop. So the cooling effect in the atmosphere will drop the temperature. Precipitation will more than likely be sleet to begin with here, may mix in with some snow in Little Rock and central Arkansas. Mainly snow farther north, freezing rain in southeast Arkansas. High probability. The details are still being worked out. We'll keep it in that medium category because we are going to see changes. One of my favorite things that folks tell us, and you can come back if you want. One of my favorite things is, well, it changed. It changed. It's going to change. We've told you with each subsequent model run to expect changes, to expect that this model run, well, I'm going to show you here, is going to look different tomorrow, at least a little bit different. What we have seen with the European model, it's my favorite model. I think it handles snow and it handles cold air a lot better than some of the others. But now we're beginning to slide into those high-res models that are 48 to 72 hours out. We're just on that tip of seeing what happens Friday. So we'll stick with the European and the GFS today. 6 a.m. Saturday morning, you've got the GFS and the European model, and they're both still indicating we're going to have wintry precipitation in Arkansas. The GFS has the snow line into central Arkansas. The European keeps pushing the snow to northern Arkansas. So there's going to be some model differences. Again, it's Wednesday. We'll see model differences all the way leading up to the day of the event, and it may not turn out what we expect. We've seen winter situations like that before. A lot of it is what's happening up here in the upper levels of the atmosphere. What's going on? What are the temperature profiles? Does it support all snow? Will it support sleet? Or is it just freezing rain or rain? That remains to be seen. But we have model differences. European is pushing more of the snow to the north. The GFS keeps it in central Arkansas for now, with the highest totals over the northern half of the state. We'll break that down a little bit later, and more than likely tomorrow we will share with you an accumulation page, our initial first guess, and we'll update it as we go along. It won't be, this is it, we're done with it, right? So as long as you understand that it's fluid, it's going to change. Winter weather in Arkansas is the absolute hardest thing to get a hold on because your forecast models are projecting way out in advance and taking into consideration what's happening in the atmosphere, high up into the atmosphere, the winds, how much humidity. Is the storm system going to develop the way that the models think it will? This signal was going all the way back to last week, late last week into the weekend, and they were in good agreement that something would happen here. And I still think something will happen. It may turn out a little bit different in terms of the precipitation types, but pretty sure it's going to happen. And man, would it be a bust if it didn't, right? We've all been through those before. Let's take a look at what's going on outside right now. We have a system in Arkansas. It's a frontal boundary quickly moving through. It did provide us with some light rain showers. We needed that. Still lots of burn bands out there. Not a drought-busting scenario at all. We'll get a break. Here we are this afternoon. Skies are breaking up. Sunshine in northwest and even west central Arkansas. We've got a little low-level cloud cover. Had some fog. But we get a break here. The next storm off the coast of California, it will begin to make landfall. We're going to begin to see an overrunning situation. The frontal boundary that moves through here today is going to stall out somewhere in Louisiana. More cold air, northwest flow aloft, brings the cold air south, and it interacts with the storm system. Now, the storm system is going to kick out these impulses, so it's a prolonged period of wintry precipitation. We might get a break or two, but it looks as if it's going to go from Friday night through Saturday night into Sunday, and that means we're going to see some big accumulations in parts of Arkansas. And I know, kids, you want it to be in your location, but it may not be. You might get a different precipitation type, but it will be significant. There you go. Satellite radar composite shows rain departing, skies are clearing out. There'll be some sunshine to close out the day. Temperatures near 50, tomorrow near 50, and then things really begin to change. Now let's move along and talk about those long-range forecast models that we live and die by, right? GFS and the European model. And, it's kind of funny. I think a lot of you have seen the Michael Jackson. We're sitting in a theater with a popcorn, and he's eating popcorn. I'm just here for the comments. Well, a lot of meteorologists, we're sitting there, we're watching, we're waiting for that next model run. We're soaking in that new information that's coming about. Well, here's the GFS. This is of 12Z. This is this morning. I'm taking you, and starting at 7 o'clock Friday, it'll be cloudy, it'll be cold. Our temperature is more than likely going to be below freezing here. And at 7 o'clock, there could be some light wintry precipitation. Keep this in mind. Light wintry precipitation along with a little rain in southern Arkansas. Moving along, we'll take you through Saturday morning. Look at those temperatures in the teens and 20s. Tom, it's 20 degrees in Conway and Little Rock and Hot Springs. What's this pink stuff? That pink stuff is a winter mix. Isn't it cold enough to snow? Well, could be. Could be snow and sleet mixed. I think the freezing rain line is going to stay over southern Arkansas. So there could be a wide swath of sleet over central and southern Arkansas, with snow and sleet heavy at times through north central Arkansas, and mainly snow over the northern counties. I'm going to show you those profiles aloft and what it takes for it to be all of one or the other in just a moment. But back to the GFS. This is through Saturday morning. Things really begin to pick up. Heavy band of precipitation through central Arkansas. Saturday, 1:30, not much movement, not much change here. We're looking at mainly snow north, a mixture of snow and sleet central, and then freezing rain begins to pick up over southeast Arkansas. Could be mixed in with some sleet. GFS by Saturday, 6:30, still looking at precipitation. It begins to become lighter, and we might actually get a little bit of a break before the main upper level system comes through. This is Sunday morning. We're not done yet. Look at the numbers. Single digits, teens. If anything happens with this, if anything, it's going to be extremely cold outside. Don't forget the 3 Ps, and it's important that you're going to be streaming faucets from Friday through Tuesday next week. Otherwise, you may have a burst pipe. We don't want that. GFS through Sunday morning at 5:30. We could get a band of heavier snow develop as the backside of the system begins to wheel out of here. This is Sunday by noon. And then by 9 o'clock Sunday night, things settle down. Skies begin to clear out. Look at the temperatures beginning to drop. This is GFS model information, okay? So that's GFS. Now let's go to the European. It's my favorite one to use. They're basically in agreement with precipitation, but it's who gets what. That's where we differ just a little bit. All right, so European model, this is 7 o'clock Friday. Roughly the same as the GFS. Precipitation beginning in western and southwestern Arkansas around 5, 6, 7 o'clock. Let's go 7 o'clock here. All the temperatures will be below average. At the surface, we've got strong wind gusts. So if you're out and about Friday night for whatever reason, take your big coats with you. Let's go forward in time. Let's take you to Saturday or midnight, Friday night, Saturday. Snow north could be mixed with sleet. This batch is going to be sleet. You've got a little rain over southern Arkansas, freezing rain over those southern rows of counties. Now Saturday at about 8 o'clock. This is where we begin to see the differences between the GFS and the European model. It's how far north the mixed bag precipitation makes it. It could be sleet mixed with snow. It could be all sleet. The main snow area over northern Arkansas. Heavy at times, our temperatures in the teens. Both models agreeing on temperatures being cold and also with cold enough for mainly snow over northern Arkansas. This is where the European has changed and has flipped. And over the last couple of 3 model runs, we've picked up on it because the European was indicating the heaviest snow would be through central Arkansas. And now it could be a lot of sleet mixed with snow. Notice those northern counties still in the blue area. The heavy band of snow and sleet mixed could be from Jonesboro, Batesville, Clinton, Fort Smith. We could be picking up some heavy sleet in central Arkansas, southeast Arkansas. Cold enough for freezing rain. Those temperature profiles may allow for a few sleet pellets to develop. This is the European. As we head into Sunday morning, we can see the light at the end of the tunnel back here behind it. 6:30 Sunday morning, a changeover. The colder air begins to work through all levels of the atmosphere. We could get a burst of some heavier snow, according to the European. And by the time we reach Sunday at 2 o'clock, the system should be wrapping up. The GFS is a little bit delayed. It keeps the snow in Arkansas. But when the skies clear out, temperatures will drop off. This is in the afternoon hours. We're only going to be in the teens for both Saturday and Sunday, and then temperatures really plummet from there. All right, let's talk about types of precipitation. This is really what makes or break. You've heard Nathan and I talk in the past that when you're looking at winter weather scenarios, Sometimes you will get a little bit of a southeast wind at the surface that's pulling just enough warmth from the Gulf. That's what this red area indicates here. Now, if we're below 32 at all levels, then moisture gets slung up over the top of that very cold, dense air mass, and that's what's happening in northern Arkansas. So we've got all snow, less than 32. Sleet, and this is the other thing I think we're going to see more of in central Arkansas, according to this model run, according to what's coming up now. You've got a little wedge of warmth, but the air is thick enough, cold enough, and dense enough so that when this little snowflake melts into a raindrop, it refreezes into a sleet pellet before hitting the ground. So that gives us our sleet. Now, in southeast Arkansas, the profiles may be a little bit different. It could be freezing rain. You get more warmth in that 4,000 feet area. Snowflake falls, melts, doesn't have time to refreeze, and it's freezing rain. To me, that is the worst of it. Sticks on power lines, sticks on trees. It causes all kinds of problems. We will have accumulations of snow and sleet as well as freezing rain. We could be looking at a fairly substantial ice storm in southeast Arkansas. Significant winter weather impacts. So that's what we got. You're looking at the atmosphere. Cold enough for all snow, a little bit of a warm layer here, but cold enough to return to sleet and just plain old freezing rain. And then you get rain if it's 32 and above. And we might see that over northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas. So that gives us an idea of how this is going to set up. Let me grab a sip real quick here. Darn allergies are acting up. Just a little. We got plenty of time. We've changed this map up. I mentioned it last night, and Nathan did too, that this map would change a little. What to expect, all right? As I walk you through this map, just know that things have shifted north. More sleet in central Arkansas. Let's start southeast Arkansas. The purple area here, Monticello, El Dorado, mostly sleet, heavy sleet, freezing rain, ice storm possible. You get freezing rain and sleet mixed, ugh, yuck. The magenta color, which is now up through central Arkansas, Pulaski County, Lone Oak Prairie, Saline, Perry. This is a wintry mix of snow, sleet, heavy sleet, maybe a little freezing rain. But more likely on this northern edge here, it's probably just going to be sleet and snow, if not more sleet than anything else. Mostly heavy snow with some sleet over the north central third of the state. This was a little farther south yesterday. And then the northern two rows of counties, it's going to be cold enough for just all snow. And it could be heavy at times. And I'll just say that some of the amounts that were coming back for snow totals were just ridiculous. And that brings me to this. Stay off the apps. If you've got the Apple app or the Verizon app, that's giving you false information. Yeah, and I'll just say that I saw in my Apple app, like, what? 22 to 24 inches of snow? There's a false read in there. What's more realistic, though, is somebody, some places picking up 6, 8, 10, 12 inches of snow. That's more realistic. Of course, that could change. Could be a little bit more, could be a little bit less. So that's what we're expecting. And then after that, precipitation comes to an end. Here comes the cold air. We still have a span of time of 85 to 100 hours where we're going to spend time below freezing. This could begin as early as Friday night, lasting all the way through Tuesday. Friday through Tuesday, you will want to stream your faucets, a little stream. We had a story on last night. It's the pencil lead with stream. Get both hot and cold going. Yeah, your water bill's probably going to be a little higher, but it's better than a frozen burst pipe that floods your house and causes thousands of dollars in damage, right? Pets, bring them inside. Don't leave them outside. They're not acclimated to this. I know a lot of folks have outside pets. If you got a cat that lives outside or a dog, just bring them into the garage, right? Bring those in and be sure you check on people. There are some out there, and we know that the homeless population, there are warming centers for those folks, but there's also folks that may not have, that have a house, mobile home, that don't have a way really to heat things up. Give them a hand, an extra blanket, something, space heater that doesn't emit carbon monoxide to help them out. Because I think one of the bigger parts of this weather story is the fact that it is going to be very, very cold. Coldest air of the season, bar none, coming in regardless of the precipitation type that we have. And speaking of temperatures, high forecast On Sunday, 24 degrees. The high on Monday, 28. Tuesday, we crawl out of the deep freeze. These are your high temperatures, okay? There will be enough melting if we can get some sunshine. But this is where it really stings. Lows forecast Saturday morning, 15 degrees in Little Rock, single digits north, teens and low 20s south. For Sunday, single digits, possibly 1 or 2 below zero temperatures, depending on the amount of snow that we have, and certainly below zero on Monday. This will be the coldest morning. 4 degrees to start your day in Little Rock, 0 Mountain Home, negative up in Harrison, 12 in Monticello. Again, what falls this weekend is not going to go anywhere anytime soon, which is going to make things awfully tricky for schools and businesses early next week. I may have to ask the boss if he's listening up there. I don't know if Marty's watching or not. I'm going to have to ask him if we're going to close the TV station on Monday and Tuesday, just see if I can get a response out of him. I'll keep an eye on him up there. Your wind chill forecast is going to feel even colder than that, dangerously cold. Below zero wind chills in Harrison, Fayetteville, Mountain Home. 5 to 10, 15 degrees below zero is what it's going to feel like. Monday, it doesn't get any better. It gets worse. And then Tuesday, we finally begin to see things warm up, but it's going to be a slow warm up. Our temperatures are going to be below average over the stretch of the next 8 to 10 days. Check it out. High temperatures only in the middle to upper 30s. Coldest stretch we've had in a very, very long time. Which brings us to radar. Just real quick, I want to wrap it up there. You can come back to me, Mr. Chris, if you don't mind. I do want to take it back up to our weather impact alert. Just go over that real quick before we say goodbye to you this afternoon. And we do have a weather impact alert all the way through the weekend. And I do want to talk a little bit more about this. Whenever we see weather that could impact you, whether it's minor impacts or major impacts, certainly a developing winter storm this weekend could really impact you, right? We saw this far enough ahead of time to go ahead and say our confidence level is pretty good that there will be some very impactful weather. It's going to disrupt your weekend. So Friday through Sunday, we've got the weather impact alert, January 23rd through the 25th. High impact winter storm is likely. Significant amounts of snow, sleet, and even freezing rain. Ice storms south, big snows up north. Hazardous travel is guaranteed. There could be some power outages. Check on folks if you don't mind. Might need it. Icy trees and power lines. And be sure you protect those around you, your pets, stream your faucets, and people. It's still in the developmental stages. Nothing is set in stone. There will be some changes. I'm the kind of guy that is going to be as real as I can with you about it. Right now, with the shift in overall precipitation type today, tomorrow, it may shift back to all snow. Regardless, it looks like it's going to be fairly significant and will match up against some of these recent big snows that we've had from 2021. It could be that bad in some places. We had decent snow last year, 8, 9, 10 inches of snow. It could be that bad for some out there. Fluffy snow, not the kind to build snowmen, but the kind you might want to ski. That's kind of what we're expecting here. But again, we'll see changes. It'll look different tomorrow. We still got a couple of days to kind of digest all this information. Nathan Scott's going to work up some new information for you to share. And on Thursday, we'll share what the accumulations could look like. And it's not going to be cut and dry. It's not going to be all snow and then this. It's going to be snow, sleet, freezing rain, ice storm. We'll do all that. It's 2:53. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Programming note for you. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon, 2:30. Once again, we'll be streaming. Myself and or Nathan Scott will be along. And a programming note if you want more weather information. As we get closer to this event, Thursday night and Friday night, Nathan and I will pretty much take over the 6:30 newscast. So at 6 o'clock, we'll have a regular newscast, and at 6:30, we'll slide into more of an extended weather coverage type of thing. And on Friday, we may be streaming for a while as this system develops and moves in. We'll keep you up to date. I know that folks are going to try to squeeze in those basketball games. Talk to Jana over at Verizon. Is it Simmons Bank Arena now? I call it Verizon Simmons Bank Arena. Globetrotters are supposed to come into town Saturday. They'll be in Jonesboro Friday. They may not make it. That's the confidence. There's going to be some wintry precipitation out there. Again, thank you for joining us. It's right at 2:55 this afternoon. Join us for our newscasts tonight at 4, at 5, at 6, at 6:30, and 10 o'clock. Y'all have a great rest of your day and be safe out there. We'll see you.